Let's go through an example of homework A.1, rounding. Make sure you do not start this until you're ready to finish it. Once you start it, you will have 60 minutes to get it done. No partial credit will be given for incorrect answers or answers marked wrong due to failing to follow the instructions. Make sure you look at your results as soon as you're finished with the quiz and try to figure out which ones you got wrong and why you got them wrong. And then if you have any questions, make sure you send me a message as soon as you can. When we round numbers, we have to look at the place value. So let's start with the number 68.9173. Start by identifying the rounding digit, which is in the place value spot, in this case, the hundredths. So we are looking at that 1 right there. So if we write all the numbers up to that 1, 68.91, without changing any of them, that's the number immediately below this. And then the number immediately above it would be to increase that last digit by 1. So this will go to 68.92. So when it's rounded, our final answer will be one of those two numbers. Then we look at the rounding digit. In this case, the 7 comes right after the 1. That means it's over halfway, so we go up to the 68.92. And then in Canvas, we put 68.92 in the box. Number 2, same idea. We start with the number 325.978. Identify the digit, in this case, in the 10th spot, which is that 9. Now we need to be careful with 9s. First, we determine what is the number below this. So we just write the digits up to the 9 without changing any of them. Now, when that is a 9, when we go to find the one above this, and we go to increase that 9 by 1, what we need to do is we need to look at the number in front of the 9 and treat that like 59, and then think about increasing 59 to 60. So when we write the number above this, 325, whoop, don't change the 5. This has to be 6.0. All right. So again, when we increase the 9, we had to picture increasing the 5 and the 9 together. So we increased 59 to 60. Back to the rounding stage. What comes after our 9 is a 7. That tells us to round up. So we increase to the higher one. 326.0. Now, when we put the answer in the box, because we are rounding to the 10th, we want to make sure that the last digit of our answer is in the 10th spot. If we just put 326 in this box, because that's the same as 326.0, Canvas wouldn't mark it wrong. But if we want to be really, really picky, since we are rounding to the 10th, we should display our answer to the 10th place. Next one. Just like all these, I'm going to start with my number. So this is 11,422.171. I'm going to round to the nearest hundred. Notice that is hundred, not hundredth. In the hundred spot is the 4. Now, when this is to the left of the decimal point, when I go to put the number in there, I cannot just put 11,4. I need 2 zeros as a placeholder to show that it is 11,400. Then I increase to the next higher hundred, so that's 11,500. 500. All right. Notice that the digit in the place value to which we are rounding is the one that is changing. Then we look at what comes after that 4, which is a 2. That 2 tells us to round down 11,400. So in Canvas, we put 11,400 in the box. Number 4, 408.190. We want to round to the nearest whole number. Another name for the whole number is the ones place. So what digit is in the ones place is that 8. If we were to round down, we just rewrite the number without changing any of the digits and end in the place value to which we're rounding. Then we increase that last digit by 1, so this would be the 409. What comes after the 8 is a 1. That 1 tells us to round down. So this is going to be 408. And again, since I'm rounded in a whole number, the last digit of my answer is in the whole number place. Number 5, let's round 697.183 to the nearest whole number. And again, just like we saw before, this is the 1 spot. So the number in the whole number place is that 7. So what is below this? Write the numbers without changing anything. So 697, and just stop at the 7. When we increase to the 1 above it, it'll go to 698. The rounding digit after the 7 is a 1. That 1 tells us to round down. Put 697 in our answer box. And again, that is to the nearest whole number, so our answer is to the whole number place. Number 6, we're going to round 409.503 to the nearest 10th. The number in the 10th spot is a 5. So below this, write all the digits up to and including the 5 without changing anything. And then when we go above it, that last digit has to be increased by 1. So nothing else changes. 409.6. Then we look at the digit that comes after the 5 in our given number, which is a 0. 0 tells us to round down. 409.5. That's what we put in our box. And again, because we are rounding to the 10th, we want to make sure the last digit of our answer is in the 10th place. Number 7, 832.510. Rounded to the nearest 10th. The digits that's in the 10th spot is this 5. So write the numbers immediately below this without changing anything, 832.5. Stop at 5. Right? And then if we were to round up, 832.6. The only one that changes is that rounding digit. Look at the number comes immediately after the 5, which is a 1. That 1 tells us to round down. So we put 832.5 in the box. And again, since we're rounding to the 10th, the last digit of our number better be in the 10th place. Number 8. Start with our number, 56.3023. Round to the nearest hundredth, TH. 0 is in the hundredth spot. So write all the numbers up to and including that 0. So 56.30, but don't write anything else. And then when we go to write the one above this, we only increase that last digit by 1. So 56.31. We look at the 2 that comes after the 0. That tells us to round down. 56.30 goes in our answer box. Number 9, 404.970. We want to round it to the nearest tenth. That 9 is in their 10th spot. Be careful with a 9. Right? So when we write the number below this, nothing changes, and I just stop at the 9. Now, to write the one above it, when I go to increase that 9 one spot, I look at this as 49, not just 9. And then when I increase the 49, I increase it to a 50. So when I write the number above this, instead of 404, this is 405.0. And again, I'm looking at 49 being increased to 50. Now let's do the rounding. 7 comes after the 9. That tells us to round up. So I'm going to put 405.0 in the answer box. And again, I am rounding to the 10th, so I like to make sure the last digit of my number here is in the 10th spot. I know it's a 0, it doesn't mean anything. If I just put 405 in that box, Canvas would not mark it wrong, but I like the 10th place, so I'm going to keep that 0 there. Finally, number 10, 43.4089. We're rounding to the hundredth. We got a TH there. What's in the 100th spot? So the 4 is in the 10ths. The 0 is in the 100th spot. So let's write all the digits up to and including that 0. 43.40. Nothing changes. And then I'm going to increase. I increase that last digit by 1. So this will be 43.41 above it. What comes after the 0 is an 8. And 8 tells us to round up. 43.41. All right, that's the 10 questions. Right. When you're done with it, when you submit it, this is going to get graded right away. Look to see which ones you got right, which ones you got wrong. If you got some of them wrong, make sure you figure out what you did wrong so you can correct those mistakes. If all you do is look at the score and move on, and you don't bother to look and see what mistakes you made, you're probably going to get the same score over and over and over again. Remember, you got to look at your mistakes and you got to figure out ways to correct them. If you have questions, make sure you send me an email message as soon as possible.